Subtlety is pumping like crazy on boss fights, man. This could be the one instead of Assassination, I swear. I'm actually going crazy in this boss fight right now. Sub Rogue versus Assassination Rogue. That's the question that's been everyone's mind, right? Everyone's asking like what rogue specs, what's rogue specs better, what's better for M+, what's better for raiding. I'm mostly based on M+, so I'll be more talking about that. But you know what? Let's discuss this today and actually finalize what is actually better. It probably won't be finalized because they're both really good, but just, you know, pros and cons, see what people like to play and whatnot, and see which one suits your playstyle more, you know? So let's first talk about Assassination. Assassination Rogue, you know it. You put your poisons on your weapons, you put dots, bleeds, poisons on all of your enemies, and you're maintaining buffs on yourself through Envenom. That's pretty much what Assassination is, right? And usually when you play Assassination, you'll probably play the Deathstalker talent, because that's the best one for Mythic Plus. So in this one, you'll apply, you know, Deathstalker marks the targets. When you spend 5 or more combo points, you'll consume that Deathstalker's mark, doing damage and increasing damage if you next ambush or mutilate. And when you consume the final mark, you'll gain 40 energy, and your Envenom cast will have maximum combo points and will quickly strike. Your next Envenom cast with maximum combo points will quickly strike. Yeah, that's pretty much the go-to. The issue I have with Assassination is, might just be me, but the buttons that I press, they hold not that much value. What I mean by that is not specifically related to damage numbers, but instead, like, you know, when you're playing like a paladin, or when you're hitting, you know, what's going on here? Why has he got a mask on? But when I'm playing a paladin and I'm hitting a divine storm and I'm seeing the numbers pop up, it feels like I'm actually pressing something to cause that damage, and that just has a fun aspect. It doesn't have that, but it does have damage numbers in AoE. Right, so let's just see. So let me just show you Assassination AoE and show you that it does do damage. So what you do is you go to your targets, right? Have a primary target. Hit him with the ambush. Garrote to spread it. Rupture. Hit him with the ambush. Just spread. Caustic Spatter. Crimson Tempest. And you just finalize. Get that started. Pop your cooldowns. Make sure your Caustic Spatter stays up. And Venom buff again. Last 8 seconds off your Kingsbane, you've got with his Shiv. Make sure your all buffs up, and look, the damage numbers are there, right? But then the issue happens after that. So whilst you're still doing your rotation, it's quite difficult to having to maintain all your dots. So I'm just trying to assess, look, Garrote's off there, so I need Garrote back up to do Caustic Spatter. Then I gotta try and find a Rupture off here. Make sure my Rupture's on there. Make sure my Rupture's on here. Make sure my Rupture's on here. You know, make sure my Rupture's back on there. Final Knives again. Maintain Caustic Spatter. Final Knives again. Crimson Tempest. You know, maintaining all my dots back up, but also with my Envenom buff, it can be quite difficult for new players to do, especially when you have a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, to do extra damage as well in your death mark, you can do Vanish and then reapply your improved Garrote and spread your dots as well. So in a normal fight, I'll just, you know, Vanish and I'll reapply all my dots like that, which is much easier. But I really didn't that because I didn't know if it reset my damage done meter. But that's pretty much Assassination, right? It is fun. Okay, you get your Kingsbane back, you cast that again. The damage is not bad. Look, Caustic Spatter is doing a lot. So you gotta make sure you maintain that up. The issue of Assassination for me is in single target. In single target, you have so much energy depletion. You don't have it recovering fast. There's so much downtime when you're doing auto attack, or you're just letting energy build up and you're relying on your dots to do damage, that it can just, you know, feel a bit irritating. You know what I mean? Let me get my cooldowns coming back up. Right. So for single target, you know, ambush, Garrote, Rupture, ambush, Envenom, do a Fan of Knives with the proc, you know, full send your damage. But it's just what your Garrote's finishing, put that back on. Fan Knives procs, hit that. Last 8 seconds, hit your Shiv. And the damage is building up, right? Hit 800k, can hit 900k if I did it better, if I was more focused. Rupture's finishing, to put that back on. The damage does build up, right? Garrote's finishing, put that back on, and Venom again. Final nice proc, so hit that. But it just, now what? Now what? I can obviously Vanish and then reapply everything, but the DPS is just dropping. You know? It's just dropping. Out of all the effort and difficulty that you're putting, it's just dropping, right? You just sat here waiting. You know? You just sat here downtiming. This is just the part of the fight where it's sad. So that's the part that brings me down. So you can have a lot of fun doing big AoE, big damage and stuff. But then you have periods of like that where it's just a bit downtimey, a bit slow, a bit you feel like you're not doing anything, and you can argue whether you think the AoE damage makes up for it, especially when it's like tyrannical and bosses take ages to die. Does the AoE damage make up for it? Now the reason why I didn't use Vanish as much as I should in these fights there was to make it more realistic, because a lot of the time tank chain pulls, whatever, you gotta use Vanish in your fights, and you don't always have 2 Vanishes up, so I was kind of hesitant to use it. Also, I didn't want to reset my damage mirror as well. Let me do another single target one just with full focus, just so it's more accurate. You're gonna hit ambush into a garrote, into a rupture, into ambush, ambush, into that, apply Deathstalker, like Kingsbane, and Venom. Wait for the last 8 seconds of Kingsbane, to then apply Shiv. You know, this is it. Let's say you had an extra thingy, hit that extra Vanish, you hit that, you know, put your dots back on. But that's it. That's single target, man. It's not it. It's not good. I've actually seen Kush and I've seen other pros that literally say that you're bandaging the boss because of how bad it is. And that's the only thing that makes me think, like, is Assassination, is it that good? I'm gonna try an AoE one more time because I feel like I've kind of botched it in AoE again. But that's what I mean, like, it's actually difficult to fully perfect, and especially in the keystone when the fight is going left, right, center, back and forth, it's hard to make sure you're doing it all right and good. So that's why, let me just try again. Just wait for the last 8 seconds. Shiv. But the damage is there, we are pumping. Look, we hit 3.4. Damage is there. But then maintaining it, so I gotta put my Crimson Tempest back on. Let me just keep my caustic splatter going. Reapply Rupture there. Yeah, reapply Rupture there. Reapply Rupture there. Reapply Garrote there. Put my caustic splatter back on. And the Tempest is finishing, so reapply that. Rupture there. Reapply Rupture there. Right, we're flowing right now. My caustic splatter is finished, so put that back on. Okay, we're doing alright, we're doing better. Another good tip is, like, let's say you got your main target, yeah, and you want to go to someone else to put your dots on. Let's say this is my main target, I go to him, put my dots on him. I want to go back to my main target for caustic splatter. Shift tab, and you're back there. You press tab to change and shift tab back. Tab twice, press shift tab twice, and you're back, which is quite a useful tip. Yeah, that's Assassination, man. AoE, it is fun, it is challenging, buttons don't feel that rewarding, but the damage is there. However, in single target, you're just a wet noodle bandaging the boss. You have no energy, you feel like your damage is doing nothing. It's just and you have to weigh up whether you think AoE actually, like, is good for it, adds up for it or not. And that's that. So now let's bring it on to sub, right? I think sub's in a good spot. Am I biased towards sub? I don't know. I played more Assassin. But sub's in a good spot. Sub's in a very good spot. Right, so sub, people usually play Trickster. Yeah. And I'm sorry, in this video I'm not going too much into what's better, why do people do this, how to do that, because I'm assuming everyone who's deciding for this kind of knows. But if you guys want a video that is more defining on how to play each spec or whatever, you can let me know. Obviously I'm not the best of the best of the best, but I do have a bit of understanding and I've played it in keys, so yeah. So you play Trickster to get the Unseen Blade, which is your backstab, charge, strike, now strike with additional Unseen Blade, blah blah blah. And mainly it's for Nimble Flurry. Your attacks, backstab, charge, and eviscerate also strike up to 7 additional enemies. That's what you're going to be basing really on eviscerate as your spender rather than black powder in fights that are like 7 or less. So Subbro kind of has like the whole balance. It's good on single target and it's good on AoE, and it can be quite consistent. But don't get me wrong, the issue with this is outside of Shadow Dance and your cooldowns, you are literally doing nothing. You're tickling and hoping that they die of laughter. You're doing nothing, you're doing no damage at all. Like, what can you even do? That's the only issue with the spec. But you do have cooldown reductions. It also does have a little downtime period waiting for your cooldowns, but it's not as bad as Assassination. You're still pressing buttons, you're not that energy starved. Okay, so when you open up with sub, right, you'd want to hit Eviscerate first because you get slice and dice, right? And when your talent, it's quite simple compared to Assassin. You do that, and then you'll find out to apply Rupture. Just Shuriken Storm, so apply Rupture to everyone, right? And then you just burst. So it's much easier than Assassination. So like, look at this, and it does good damage as well. Right, so this is what I do, right, for sub. So Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Fan of Knives to then get a Rupture, Fan of Knives to get a Rupture. Then whoever doesn't have it hit with a Flagellation, Vanish, Shadow Strike into a Rupture, Shadow Dance, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Cold Blood, and Secret Techniques to another Eviscerate, and just literally Shadow Strike and Eviscerate whenever I'm in Shadow Dance, and that's literally the damage. And look at the damage. There is some down period when you're kind of waiting for Shadow Dance to come back, and that's the period that I was talking about, where it's like the damage is a bit lackluster. Apply Ruptures back to everyone. That's the only part where the damage is kind of like, yo, build up, you know. You always gotta make sure your unforeseen is active, but that's usually always happening to make your Eviscerate hit everyone else. But yeah, when your Shadow Dance comes back, you just go back into that. Your Cold Blood and Secret Techniques are up, you hit that, big damage increase. And yeah, that's pretty much the rotation. Much simpler, very effective. You know, feels good to play. But Assassination does as well. That's my point. Like in AoE, Assassination is just, it's there as well, you know. It's still fun to play, and I like it. I like Sass and sub in AoE a lot. Okay, so this is why sub takes over Assassination for me is in single target. And like, let's say you find a tyrannical boss in a Mythic plus dungeon. So what you do is, as you can see the damage here, what you do is Shadow Strike into Eviscerate, into a Flagellation, Vanish, Shadow Strike into a Rupture, Shadow Dance, pop Cold Blood Secret Technique, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Eviscerate, Shadow Dance again, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Secret Techniques is back, so pop that, Shadow Strike. As you can see, the damage is insanely high. The only issue is the downtime you get with not having your Shadow Dance up. That's the only downside I see. Which is right now. So then I'll just apply my Rupture back, keep backstabbing. Keep backstabbing. And your Shadow Dance is back. So make sure your symbols and Shadow Dance are always in sync. And then you're back again, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate. Secret Technique, Cold Blood again, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate. And then we're in downtime again. And at this period, you do feel like you're doing no damage. However, don't forget, you are still doing way more damage than Assassination would be. Shadow Dance is back. Secret Techniques is back. Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate. Back to a little downtime. So it really depends if you're okay with a little downtime period. But come on, Assassination downtime is insanely high. And also your cooldowns are much shorter as well, because Flagellation and Shadowy Blaze is 1.5 minutes. So that's not too bad. So now I can literally just pop cooldown burst right now. Right, so after I recorded the video, I did a little clip. No, I did a little Keystone dungeon after. And the damage was quite good for here. Look, so obviously I'm doing my opener that I just explained before. And you can see my damage just build up crazily build up. It's increasing, and I'm literally gapping everyone else in single target damage, and it's insane. The opener is insane. After Shadow Dance goes, it's a bit slow, it's a bit, you know, you have to just wait for Shadow Dance to come back, but when it's there, trust me, it is crazy. So in this situation, I definitely prefer sub for boss fights. For boss fights, sub I definitely prefer, because the damage is It's so better. The sub is kind of like an all-rounder. Maybe Assassination does more AoE than sub. Maybe more consistent AoE, maybe more better long-term AoE than sub. But you also have to be on the ball, applying dots, understanding everything, what's going on, whilst also doing high keys. Is hard, it's difficult, but the AoE can be more rewarding. Boss fights though, the damage is so poor. It is genuinely so poor. Sub on the other hand is easier to an extent. Consistent damage in Shadow Dance, downtime outside of it, but you can build it back up and then do your consistent damage again. Single target is good, AoE is good, is decent. So I personally prefer sub because I feel like it'll be more effective next season. But Assassination is good for high keys, longer fights. Maybe not tyrannical. What do you guys think? Kind of like another teaser. I was fighting the dummies again. Obviously, dummies are a bit inconsistent because they're not usually the same as an actual fight would go. But as you can see, I'm absolutely pumping on the dummies. I kind of did my rotation, and obviously, I'm learning as I'm going across. And I just feel like there's more potential on sub than assassination in terms of how you can be more consistent. Assassination is hard, man. It's hard to maintain the AOE in heated situations, but at the same time, single target damage is so weak. But yeah, what do you guys think? But yeah, I was absolutely pumping on the dummies here. Right, just to be clear, I wouldn't say I'm the best rogue. I'm like a casual player, really. Even though I make wild content, I'm still casual. I wouldn't say I'm top, like, whatever percentage. But I'm trying to main rogue, so I'm learning and explaining what a casual person would see rogue as. So that's pretty much the explanation in this video. Assassination, maybe more consistent, maybe more sustained, bad at single target. Subtlety, bigger burst, more fun, I'd say. Quite dependent on cooldowns. Outside of Shadow Dance, it's just a lot of downtime and you're just waiting to get your Shadow Dance back. But when it's there, you're pumping, you're banging, and it is a lot of fun. Assassination, the energy depletion is too much. Single target is just so, it'll be so fun with the single target, man. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch for more. Thank you.